Hey book lovers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mar and we're back with more reading videos. I took a couple weeks off of just creating content and all of that just for my mental health, but now we are back. We are not better than ever, but that is okay. These next few videos are probably just gonna be me trying to get through my TBR and reading books that I have been pretty much pushing onto my fall TBR that are from the summer months and all of that. One thing about me, if you watch my videos, is that you know I'm a serial book starter. So I usually will start a couple books at the same time and then read them at the same time throughout the week because my brain needs to be overstimulated like that. So the first book I'm reading is Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. I got, I think, 10% into this book and it's moving really fast. I still don't really understand the premise of this book. I know it has something to do with the Prince of Envy, who pretty much goes into I don't know if it's like the mortal world or something. I think it's a mortal world, and he's like playing this game with his brothers or something. I'm not sure, but overall the vibes are fun. The next book I'm reading is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood, and this is a book that I wanted to read during the summer. I read the first couple chapters and it took me a while to get into, but now I've hit the point where I'm like, okay, I understand what's happening now. I'm ready for it. And it kind of gives The Good Place vibes, if that makes sense. If you've seen the show The Good Place, you would get kind of the same vibes as this one. It's a really fun romance book, and it's definitely not super fall vibes at all. I mean, I guess you could say she's a ghost, so it is spooky season, but overall, yeah, it's I read the first couple chapters and now I'm getting into it and I'm super excited to read this book. So those are the main two books I'm reading for this video. Hello. So for some reason I just didn't record myself filming. I just decided not to record myself filming me reading books today for some reason. Don't know why. Just did not cross my mind because I just jumped into these books immediately. But I ended up getting 20% into both of these books. So I got 20% into Throne of the Fallen, which is the first 100 pages of this book, and then I got into about 20% of The Love of My Afterlife, which is about 65 pages-ish. And overall, having a good time reading these books and all of that. And I think I would have continued reading, but then I got distracted because one of the books that I really wanted to read was finally available on Libby. And so that one is called That Is Not My Name. Forget the author's name, unfortunately. So, oops. But pretty much it's this young adult thriller mystery novel. It's about this girl who ends up on the side of the road somehow. This police officer finds her on the side of the road and she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know what her name is. She doesn't know who she is. She has all of this amnesia. So she doesn't know pretty much anything about herself, her past, anything like that. So pretty much she's trying to figure out who she is. The police officer is trying to figure out who she is. And during this book, while she's at the police station, this man comes in and says that he's looking for his lost daughter and all of that, or his daughter went missing for a day. So that's the first part of the book. And then there's another part of the book, it's dual point of view, and there's this guy who pretty much he's looking for his girlfriend that went missing a couple days ago, but or a couple weeks ago, I believe. They can't find her. He's being blamed, you know, for her going missing, or people think that he murdered her because he was the last person that she saw that night before she went missing. So there's like 2 parts of the book, and I know that there's going to be like probably part of the book where like these storylines intertwine and all that. So that was the first book I wanted to read. Another reason why I got distracted reading was because this book finally came in the mail. It's Some Shall Break by Ellie Marney, and in one of my previous book blogs, I read the first book of the series. It's pretty much about these teenagers that get recruited by the FBI and all of that to help them with like this case and all of that. And so this is the second book in the series, and so I'm super excited to read this. I ordered it for Prime Day, and then it came with like someone took an X-Acto knife or something by accident and like cut like the whole front page off, so I had to return that. I think I'm gonna get started on reading this book. So currently right now I'm reading 4 books at the same time. How does my brain do it? Somehow my brain can compartmentalize like all these different books. I will update you when I update you next. Good morning. I decided to start this day off by reading Some Shall Sleep by Ellie Marney. And I started reading this last night and I simply could not put it down. I literally had to stop myself from just continuing on more. This book just moves so quickly, and it's definitely a perfect book series for people who are big fans of the show Criminal Minds, or fans of the books The Naturals, Good Girls Guide to Murder, all of that. This one is still more like FBI focus kind of thing. I think what this book does so well is that because you have the first book to like more so connect with the characters and all of that, this one you still have a connection to the characters, and a lot of the stuff that happens in the first book sort of reflects what happens in the second book. I really don't know how it's going to end, so it's like, for me, this one hasn't been too predictable, but I also haven't been like thinking super hard about what's happening in the book. I'm going to try and finish this book today because I think I'll get through it pretty quickly, and we'll see how much I read of my other books. Definitely, I am a true crime girly, I'm a mystery thriller girly, so I'm trying to read more books that are just like super fast paced like this, but it's really a matter of starting for me. That's what I have a problem with, but yeah, we're just gonna continue reading this book and see how far we get. I'm about, I would say like 80%, almost like, or maybe even like 85% of the way through this novel. And like, I can't put it down, but at the same time, like, it's just getting creepier and creepier. And I just like, I truly don't know how this is going to end. Like, the characters are just so, I wouldn't say they're, okay, yeah, they're more fleshed out in this book than they are in the first book, but then there's also like the addition of characters that like you met in the first book, and they have their own motivations in this book that you don't necessarily know how it's going to play out. But I don't want to spoil it for like anyone who is like planning on reading this book series or anything like that. But just to update you guys, I'm so stressed right now reading this book. I don't know how it's going to play out. I thought I would just give you a quick update as to what I read. I finished reading Some Shall Break last night. ate that book up because I read it in practically a day, and a bit, I guess, a day and a bit. And I have so many thoughts about that book and the book series, which I will get to later in this video. I think I'm going to do a review of like all the books I read this week or within the past couple days at the end, just because I'm reading so many books simultaneously right now. This morning I decided to continue reading The Love of My Afterlife. I think that's the title. It's a really long title, guys, like, don't judge me. But I started reading that, and then I also started to continue reading Throne of the Fallen. The thing with me is, like, I get through thrillers so fast and all that, so I'm trying to, like, slow down while reading. Social Break, literally, like, I could not put that book down, so I had to, like, know what was happening at the end of it, so that's a reason why I got through that one so quickly. But That's Not My Name, I'm still slowly reading on my phone, so you're probably not gonna get any videos of me reading that book because I film all my videos on my phone. But I'm about like 38% of the way through, and I don't think it's gonna be my favorite mystery thriller unless like the ending is like super shocking and all of that. But I don't know, it's like I'm reading it and I'm getting through it really quickly, but there are some things that I'm just like kind of not vibing with, you know? I don't know if it's like the writing or it's just I don't really have as much connection to the characters and all that. But yeah, I think for the most part I'll probably get through that like pretty quickly, probably even today. That's just some updates for you as to what I'm reading. I feel like it's been a while since I gave an update to what I've been reading this week. And so, for what I've been reading this week, I just finished reading That Is Not My Name by Megan Lawley, I believe that is the author. And overall, had a really fun time reading it. I feel like because I watch so many like crime shows and all of that and procedural dramas and shows about serial killers, I sort of like saw most of the twists coming, but there was one twist where it took me by surprise. So overall, like, I think it's a really good novel for people who are like wanting to get into like reading thrillers and all of that. If you're someone who reads a lot of them or consumes a lot of media, then I feel like you would see a lot of the twists coming and all that. But overall, had a good time with it. For me, it like, I read it digitally, so I just read it on my phone, and the thing with like the timeline bar on Libby for me, for some reason, it like never really updates. So for like a lot of the book, I thought I was still at like the very beginning of the book because my bar never like really updated. And then I finished the book and I was like, oh, I guess like this went by quicker than I thought. I don't know, it was just so quick for me. I thought there would be like more to it, more mystery, but I felt like it just like started and ended really quickly. But other than that, I had a good time reading it. And yeah, so I'm still reading The Love of My Afterlife and Throne of the Fallen. For the rest of the day, I'm going to go hang out with a friend because I'm doing some freelancing work for her, and then we'll see what I do with the rest of my day. Probably read or watch TV. I'm watching SWAT right now, and guys, like, the first couple seasons, it's kind of giving. Like, I really like it. Again, I'm a procedural drama girly. I'm a police drama girly. I love, honestly, I kind of love network television now. Like, I'm getting into all these network television shows and like, I'm eating it up. So, yeah. Just a little update. I'm editing this video that you're watching right now, and I just, after I filmed that video, just literally did no reading, got no reading done. It's been a rough couple of days again, so yeah, my momentum for reading
has come to a halt right now, but I do have videos planned, so hopefully within the next couple weeks we can figure out what's going on with me, and then we can get back to our fun little routine of me reviewing books, so you can hear my thoughts. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one, hopefully. I don't know. Bye.